Hi, I'm Heather Duran,
And I'm Rhonda Tate.
and we just wanted to touch base with you of where we're at in the process of creating the district-wide common performance assessments for middle school math. The purpose of our work is to develop a tool for collaboration for teachers, but also to design measurement tools that we can use to track student progress. These tools will provide a relative comparison that we can use district-wide. We felt that it's very important to prepare our students for our next generation assessments that they're going to be seeing, so these assessments provide them the opportunity to see those assessments. So the process started when the content leaders met earlier in the spring and identified our big ideas per grade level for math. And at the district assessment summit, what we have done is, as a team, is we took the big ideas that you identified and kind of have prioritized them and broken them down.
And a prioritized standard for each unit, there were prioritized standards and supporting standards. Prioritized standards were kind of the all-encompassing standard. They're the standards that all of the other standards were needed to support that standard. What you see when you pull up a prioritized standards, and those were the only standards that were unwrapped were the prioritized standards, and they will all be in this format here. You will have the circled portions, which are the verbs, the things that the students should be able to do, the underlined portions, which are the nouns, things that will be in your vocabulary, maybe your word walls, things of that nature, the vocabulary of math that they will need to learn to be successful. These also include some suggestions for essential questions, and the final part of the document will be some examples and explanations of the types of problems that would go with this standard.
And you'll find all these documents that we reference on the L drive in the curriculum and assessment folder. And this unwrapping the standard process just provides clarity to us for what the students need to be able to do, because these are pretty difficult standards, levels, DOK, some 2s, 3s, and 4s, and so it's just important for us to keep focused on what it is exactly that our students need to be able to do and show mastery on. So our assessments are all very similar for grades 6, 7, and 8. They are in 3 parts. This is here. Let's show yours. Your this is the 8th grade is neat. 3 parts to the assessment.
The assessment?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so that was the curriculum map.
So the first part are selected response questions. So for 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, these assessments, the students will be expected to answer selected response. Now, in creating these assessments, one thing that we learned from Lisa Pianowski at the Assessment Summit was a strategy or a way to increase the rigor on these assessments is to provide some questions that have more than one correct multiple answer. So it's important to know going in this that some of these questions, there are more than one correct answer on them, and
I was looking for an example.
they're identified on the student
As a select all that apply.
Mhm.
Typically, they will have in parentheses after them or somewhere in the question it will say select all that apply.
And you'll the answer key will show which questions that these are.
Or some of them may be in chart form and you will be selecting everything that supports what you're trying to say. For example, this is a true-false question, and then you select the mathematical arguments that would support that choice of true or false. Several different types of formats. We tried to go into that next generation assessment format where they're doing things other than just asking a simple multiple choice question. And then the next part of the document is a short constructed response. The short constructed response for both the student and the teacher have a scoring guide on them. Now, of course, the student's scoring guide is not as fleshed out as the teacher's scoring guide, but the student, it's kind of like a mini rubric for them, what they need to do to be proficient, to just show progress, or to have a basic understanding of what this question is asking. So when they have this question, it will identify all the things that they need to do in that question to be considered proficient for answering that question. Just as a comparison, the teacher guide has is a little more fleshed out, and even on the multiple choice, this is not a good example of it, but anyway, on the multiple choice is what I was going to show you. That was a good one. The multiple choice, it gives answers for why the correct answer is correct and why the wrong answer is incorrect, so that you can target the misconceptions that your students are having. When we designed these multiple choice questions, one of the things about them was to design a question so that if the student missed it by choosing choice C, then you would know possibly what mistake they were making when they chose choice C if you read the scoring guide. Oh, extended response. Many of them do not. They have an extended response section. A lot of them we have not put the extended response question on here. The extended response is intended to be like a performance task. And many of us have not put those on there yet. They're still works in progress. They will have scoring guides. Some of us are looking at taking the state's unit performance task and transforming that into one that we can use so that we won't be duplicating what was done in the classroom, but it'll be very similar to what was in the classroom.
So we'll be working on those, and those will be uploaded as soon as we have them. Just wanted to clarify. No, yeah, I was going to go back to that too. The performance assessments will be scored in Scantron.
The multiple choice
The
parts.
multiple choice will be scored in Achievement Series on Scantron, and then the the constructor response will be hand scored.
And there will be a process in place to score those collaboratively at your school, but then to collaborate between the schools so that we get consistency across the county about what is proficient, what is basic, and all of those little details are still being ironed out.
And the first common formative district-wide assessment will take place the week of November 11th. So
For middle school.
For middle school.
And then the other piece that we have here is a curriculum map. And the curriculum map gives a very general timeline, but it also lists the standards per unit. And then it highlights, or here it shows in red, and these will be uploaded, available for parents on the website. They're also available for teachers in the L Drive. But the standards in red are our priority standards, and the other ones are supporting standards. So the first assessment for 8th grade will include these first 5 standards, these first 5 priority standards that come out of the first 2 units. That being said, it doesn't exclude these others because, as we said, they're supporting standards, so they will be in there and a part of the problems that you do for the priority standards, but not necessarily tested individually by themselves.
For 7th grade, the first district assessment will cover units 1, 2A, and 2B. And for 6th grade, the first district assessment will cover units 1 and 2. These performance assessments are part of our continual process for improvement. These are going to inform us as teachers instructional practices that have that yield the highest results for our students and who are making those gains, and will allow us to share our results among each other during that collaborative process, so that we have our students where they need to be. But anyways, we wanted to thank you for all your hard work that you, as our middle school math teachers and anyone else viewing this, has put in to this work. It's been a lot of work. It is work still in progress. And once you have access to these documents in L Drive, please let us know as soon as possible any feedback, anything that any revisions that you think need to be made, or anything that would help our assessments become even better.
Yes, please do. Anything that you feel that we haven't tested enough, or that we tested too much, or that we left off, let us know so we can make those corrections, and we may be calling on you to help finalize our second assessment because it is not yet finished.
Thank you.
Thank you.